Welcome to another episode of Kathy's Kitchen. I'm Kathy, and I have Pam here next to me.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm very excited today because today's recipe is actually from Pam. And if you know, Pam eats extremely clean. So I'm very excited to see what she's going to be putting together here. So she's got a recipe called chicken in a pot. When you see everything that's going to be going into this recipe, you're going to want to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and let Pam take over on this because I'm very excited to see what you do here.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So, you know, a big part of your success in the Level Up program has to do with prep and plan. And this chicken in a pot recipe is perfect for a prep and plan day. Now, it does require a specialized piece of kitchen equipment, which is called an InstantPot. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I know some of you have already posted recipes and talked about an InstantPot. It's a very popular piece of kitchen equipment. It's not super expensive, but I can tell you it's a game changer when it comes to prep and plan. So it is a pressure cooker, not a slow cooker. So pressure cooker is fast cooking under pressure. And you know, you can make almost anything in the pressure cooker. Today we're going to do a chicken recipe. I think the great thing about this recipe is it gives you a really quick meal for your dinner that evening, but it also gives you some great leftovers that just taste better as each day passes. So I'm super excited. The ingredients here are I'm using mushrooms. This is a variety of mushrooms, shiitake and others. There's some yellow onion. I also use shallots, dried whole garlic pieces, and then root vegetables. And in my chicken in a pot, oftentimes I'll use sweet potatoes or maybe small fingerling potatoes. In this case, it's a mixture of root vegetables and squashes, butternut squash, and a little bit of carrot and so forth. So again, this is one of those really easy, you can use anything you find in your kitchen to put in it. Oftentimes I'll put greens in. I might put in some chard or some spinach, or so really just make it according to what you have available. But these are some of the primary ingredients.
Well, I'm excited to get started on this one.
Yeah,
I can't even believe it's going to cook in 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
That's impressive. Okay, so
All right.
let's get going.
Obviously, the first thing we want to do is take the lid off of our Instant Pot. Inside, the Instant Pot comes with a little rack. You want to use it in this case to set your chicken on. So the rack is in the bottom. And the next thing I do is really get the chicken prepared. What I'm going to do, I have a butter and herb mixture. And again, as I've said in other Kathy's Kitchen segments that we've done, you can use any type of herb and spices that you like. This happens to be called a toasted onion spice that I mixed in with the butter. Just gently separate the skin of the chicken off of the breast. So the way to do that is just to lift up the edge and you just run your fingers underneath and lift the skin. So I usually just use my basting brush. In this case, my butter's cooled off a little bit, so it's a little thicker. And I just run it up along the breast with this mixture. Gives the breast a lot of moisture and extra flavor while it's cooking. So I just spread that around. And then the rest of the mixture I just spread around the breast and the back side of the chicken before I put it into the pot. So really super simple. And I'm going to dress both sides of the chicken with the butter. Put the root vegetables in. And now I'm going to take my chicken, my whole chicken, breast down, place it right in the Instant Pot, right on top of my root vegetables, right? It's the shallots, some onion, lots of garlic, mushrooms. This is a flavored rosemary salt. I'm just going to sprinkle some of that around. And then I'm going to put in about 2 cups of broth. Sometimes I use bone broth. In this case, I'm going to use a chicken broth. And there you are, very simple. So now that we have all of our ingredients in the pot, we are going to set the settings. So I just use the manual setting on my Instant Pot. So I just hit manual. It automatically chooses 15 minutes. And that generally for a smaller chicken is enough time, but I'm going to adjust it up just a couple of minutes just because this was a little bit larger chicken than I normally use. You just want to make sure that it's set to closed and not venting. So it's set to the back, so it's closed, and that's all there is. So the timer just went off on our chicken in a pot, so it's time now to vent. Just turn it to vent. So it makes a bit of noise and sends out some steam, and it'll take 5 minutes or so for the pressure to release.
Okay, the chicken is out of the pot. It looks amazing. It smells so good, and we're gonna give it a taste.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
do
come
it. Let's do it. Good.
That chicken is cooked perfectly. I'm going to be getting me one of those.
Yeah. What you'll find with this dish in particular is that the chicken is so tender that it literally just falls off the bone. So usually when I make for that evening, that would be the dinner meal, and I'll slice the breast and put the vegetables over it. But for the ongoing meals of the week, I take the chicken off the bone and I mix it back in with the vegetables and add more broth, and I use it as soup, which is great, you know, for colds and flus and take to lunch and whatever.
And I feel like this is a really hearty meal for a family. You know, for people that want to make sure like their kids are getting protein, and the vegetables are extremely tasty on this. I'm gonna be all over these. So I love this. And also, if you don't have a pressure cooker, remember you can do this in the oven in just a cooking pan. So you just put it in, put all the vegetables around, throw it in. You probably have to cook it
Yeah, it takes
a little longer, so you'll have to check it. It won't cook as fast as that pressure cooker, but you can make it happen. So I'm gonna take another bite.